think that if anybody was going to use this in business, and somebody like a CPA, like my brother, he gets Excel sheets from customers to do the bookkeeping monthly. Every month you're going to get another one. Well, I hope that you can select multiple folders. So you have a folder for this year and a folder for next year and a folder for the year before. And then each month there's a spreadsheet that they send in, and he can just apply it like this, the spreadsheet, and it pops out a number. So there's a lot of sophisticated things to learn there. I'll take a look and see what these books have. Just like I was not aware of the convert function. And then I looked at it, and some of the things you can convert to, I never heard of. They set me off looking up what's the difference between pounds mass and pounds force. I'm a physicist. I should know what this is. And when I read the explanation, I asked Copilot, what's the difference? You know, it gave me an interesting explanation.
No, I read your email and I checked it out. And yeah, there's some things I can definitely use that convert function for. Thanks, John.
Yeah, I mean, you can always know what the conversion factor is and put it into a formula, but it's simpler. You don't have to look up the formula. They looked it up for you. Just like some of the other stuff that they added into the top of Excel, where they have stocks and bonds and geography and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, this is a PDF, but as I pointed out when I first started, this is a pristine PDF because it started as an Excel spreadsheet, and I simply created a PDF from it. So I have sample credit card expenses and payments, and this is part of the month. And as we proceed, we will try to see if we can combine the rest of the month, or you could have each month, you can have a separate worksheet for each month. And this is a table, or it started out as a table, but the key here is that it's a PDF. If I click on it, nothing happens. I'm just curious if in this PDF, if I could edit the text. Yes, sir. Interesting. Well,
What version is this, Fred?
This is PDF Exchange Editor.
You're covering part of the top with the zoom.
The zoom. Okay, let me hide.
Controls.
Yeah, let me hide the control. I have to get out of that.
Yeah, you have to
Getting worse.
You have to drag that away, I guess.
Maybe you can drag it away.
Okay, better. It's on the bottom of my screen.
No, it's still where. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's gone.
Well, now you've dragged it to the bottom.
I don't see it now.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
Okay.
Right? Gone? Yeah.
I still see some of it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyway, it's better than what it was because I couldn't tell. You're using PDF Exchange Editor.
Correct. And this is interesting. It's allowing me to edit the text. So like I said, this is a pristine PDF that started with a
Now, if you use select text just at the top of the ribbon on the left,
yeah.
if you click that and now try to select text
Wait, did you click on the word? Try and select a little more random type of text, Fred.
What do you want me to select?
Like ShopRite food down to RX.
This?
Yeah, go across down to there.
Yeah, this is actually this is already editable. So
Well,
maybe this is too pristine. Because like I said, this started.
Wow.
I never heard of that this program PDF Exchange, but if it's an exchange, isn't it programmed to like transform different versions of PDFs into editable text?
Not always, not always. Some some
Uh, uh,
some of our
you,
PDFs remain as images. This one, as I said, started as Excel and made a PDF out of it, PDF file, but it's highly editable.
Well, I
yes.
thought you
So,
were using
so
Excel to edit it when that thing
did you
was
use
covering the
print?
top.
Were you in Excel and used print to PDF?
I either use Save as an Adobe PDF or printed PDF. Yeah, either or.
Okay. So if you had taken a screenshot of this, then it would have been, if you had taken a screenshot of that area of the Excel spreadsheet, then it would have been a PNG image.
It would have been an image, correct?
And you could have opened up this PDF exchange and created a PDF and pasted that image into it. That would be different. Actually,
Yeah, yeah.
selecting text like this, you can do with Adobe Reader.
Yeah, I'm just saying that this started out as a pristine Excel spreadsheet. So let's keep that in mind. Nevertheless, because of my experience, as I started out at the beginning with H&R Block, being able to scan in, not scan in, but just take my 1099s that I had scanned in. I had scanned in the 1099s and change it into information that it could use for my taxes. We are leaps and bounds beyond simply doing images and PDFs. I mean, it's all doable. So I can take another example, which I will if you'd like me to, but I'd like to show you how the Power Query will be able to read this PDF. So whether this is a too good of an example is in question. But nevertheless, let me show you how PDF would handle it, or how Power Query would handle it. So let me close this out. I'm going to close this out. And let me go into Excel someplace. All right, we're back here. So let me just close this file. Where's my close? Uh,
No, it's over in the right, upper right, the X.
I don't want to. I don't want to exit out. I'm looking for close, just to close the spreadsheet. It's somewhere probably here down at the bottom. That's what I'm looking for. Uh, Same thing. I didn't mean to do that. Anyhow, let me just go back into Excel.
What I've noticed, Fred, is that every X in the corner of each individual sheet doesn't close the whole Excel. If you have 4 or 5 sheets open, it closes that sheet first.
Yeah,
Mine closes everything.
no.
Well, I'm on 365.
Okay. Anyhow, let me just do File, New, Blank Worksheet. Okay. So I have a new worksheet, and I'm going to take a PDF using Power Query, data, get data from other sources. Is it from PDF. Okay, I have it on my desktop. And here it is. I'm going to import it. Okay, so it recognizes it. That's good. And I have two things I can
Are
select.
you going to use Power Query?
That's what this workshop's about, John.
So you wouldn't import it, you would do something else.
No, I just imported it. What was the other option?
I don't see a place. Okay, so now you're going to select the file or the
I'm
table
I'm going to
and
select, yeah,
transform the data.
I'm selecting the table, correct. Here's the sample data.
Okay, so it's import.
Yeah,
Got it.
the word import here is, that's what it used. I mean, it could have said open or connect but that's what it used. It used import. If there was another choice, I didn't see it. Okay, it shows you the sample data. You'll notice column 1, 2, and 3, and
Ooh,
4. It didn't take my headers. Now, there is I'll show you where that option is, where you can take the first row and make it your headers. But the whole thing is screwed up because I have in the first column here, I have the date and the location or the store. And in the last column here, I have the amount and the category. So it needs to be transformed. It needs to be cleaned up. So I'm going to,
What about the nulls?
that has to be cleaned up. All has to be cleaned up.
why does it think there are 4 columns then?
I do not know. Oh,
You
No,
don't
because
know?
it thinks column 1 has column 1 and 2 in it, and column 4 has column 3 and 4 in it. The 150 should be in 3, and Wawa should be in column 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
took
why
space.
does it think that there are 4 columns?
All right, this is now is a PDF, and the PDF had some spaces. So the PDF that was created, the spaces are interpreted, I guess, as another column. Anyhow, I am going to,
If you had simply selected all of the data in PDF Exchange, selected all of it, copied and pasted it in an Excel spreadsheet, would you have gotten a better result?
probably in this particular instance, yes, John, but I'm illustrating in general, how do you use Power Query to take a PDF? We'll go back. I'd like to try that, okay? Because this particular PDF is pristine and it was editable. So probably I didn't have to go through this with this particular PDF. In general, however, this is how you suck it into Power Query, a PDF. So forgive me, this is the PDF that I have. I'm going to transform the data. I think that's the option I want. Yeah, I want to transform the data. So here's my data. Okay, so let me make some more room here. Okay, and what's
Make it
going
full
on up
screen.
here? What in the world is going on up here?
I don't know. You
Keep
got an
moving right to make that
awful
full
lot of
screen.
menus.
Yeah, I got a lot of menus. Oh, let me just maximize it. Okay, a little better. All right. So just bear with me. This is a PDF. It would be perhaps suitable to simply try first, copy and paste it right into Excel because it came from Excel. In this example, we're assuming that it's just a normal PDF and we don't know where it came from. So I have to do some transformations. Now, I'm not going to use this but I'm going to show you where it is in case you do. If I right click, I think it is, no, it's not right click. It's, uh, use first rows as headers. So I could, if I wanted to, take that and put that at the top. Now, I really don't want to do that because I really have to clean up the columns, which means I have to delete that column. So it really doesn't do me any good. But if you had nicer data, you could take the first row if it didn't work out correctly and then make it your headers. So from Kevin's tutorial, I can X that out. And that is, I guess I got to do two of them. All right, so I X'd it out.
Fred, it seems to me you could do this in flash fill in a heartbeat. Because
Yeah,
it
well,
mistook, made
Bear
column
with
1 and
me.
2, column 1, and then they have, that's why there's 4 columns.
Bear with me, bear with me, bear with
Okay.
me. This is illustrating how you do it. This data is just an example. You want to send me some other PDF? We'll try with some other PDF. But right now, I'm going to transform. I'm going to get rid of that column. I'm going to remove the column. I'm going to remove the column because they're nulls. And what am I going to do in this column? Well, I'm going to get rid of that. I have to filter that. It doesn't make sense, but I have to filter that. That I didn't like, but that's the way they do it. Okay, so what do I have to do if I'm doing a transform? Split the columns, split the columns. So right click on the column header and split columns. The delimiter is what, do you think?
space.
It's a space. I can take a look at the custom, or I could just type in a space. So I now have my date in one column and I have my store location in another column. What do I have to do here?
Same thing.
Same thing. I come down to split columns and delimiter, and remember that it was a space. I say okay. So now I have my 4 columns. And now if I double click on the top here, I can put my date. And I could put my location or store. And here I could put my amount. And here I could put my category.
Well, Fred, couldn't you have renamed them in the beginning? Instead
Don't
of column
forget,
1 and then date in row 1.
Yeah, it would
And
have
then moved
produced the
them
same
around as you
result.
needed later, you know. Yeah.
yeah, the problem is though I had to split the columns. If I didn't have to split the columns, I could have done it another way. But in order to get the 4 columns, it didn't come in 4 columns, even though the spreadsheet had 4 columns. When it came into Power Query, it did not have 4 columns. Now, another spreadsheet might come in with 4 columns, exactly what you want. So I
Right.
couldn't rename them first. I had to split
Okay.
the
All
columns
right. No
first.
problem.
Yeah, I mean, it just,
I have another question.
sure.
Why is the date formatted right? And is it a date or text?
It's a date.
It is a date.
The same way that the amount is a number and it's on the right, the date is a number and it's on the right. You can see from the icon up next to the word
Yeah.
date that it knows that it's a date. And in the amount
Okay.
column,
I
it
didn't notice
knows
that.
that it's a number, not text. And you need to change the amount to currency.
Correct. Okay, so I right click, change the type. This is formatting. They use the word type.
Are you in the right column?
I think so.
Yes, yes, he was.
And I choose currency. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are all what you do in Power Query. They're called transformations, moving columns, splitting columns, changing labels. Any
Power
other?
BI, Sujit, does Power BI work this way also? Same kind of editor?
Power BI looks, I mean, it's completely web-based. I mean, there's a desktop version as well, but it's completely, the whole interface is typically web-based, and it's more like a website builder than anything else. You know, it kind of lets you create these dashboards and whatnot. It does have some of the parts of establishing connections and all looks somewhat similar to this. That component of Power Builder where you establish connections to databases or spreadsheets or other online services. But then
Does it
when you
have
get it all in,
a transformation editor?
Well, Power Query is part of Power BI.
yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I think it does have transformation there. It is definitely a superset of this, you know.
So here's my data transformed, and now, as far as I'm concerned, I am done with this unless you think of something else. So I'm going to close. Let me check my notes. I just close and load it, and close and load means I'm done with the editor, Power Query editor, and I'm going to drop it into Excel. So close, or is it close and load too? Shoot. Got to check my notes here. I think it's just close and load. We shall find out. Yeah. Okay, so now clearly this is editable. And if I did a double check here. 605 was my number, so I'm good. So this file took a round trip. Now, what you guys are suggesting is if I go out maybe to the internet and find some other PDF that's not pristine, let's see what happens. Or somebody have something they can send me that's don't send me a PNG. If you have a PNG, by the way, in the last meeting, Henry Hom used Cloud Convert to convert the PNG to a PDF, and they use Cloud Convert PDF to Excel. So all that is doable, but it's a hop, skip, and a jump. What I'm looking for is another PDF to try here tonight. Does anyone have one readily available, or shall I go out and look for one, or a bit of? And I'm going to try this kind of file where we start with an image and we convert it to a spreadsheet. But if you have a well-behaved PDF, like we first started, Power Query will do it. But just what we're playing around with now is more of a challenge, obviously, and that's why we have a workshop.
So
when you say
PDFs should have a different letter so that you can tell the difference between a text PDF and a image PDF. And even you're going to have PDFs that mix those two things together, like if you have a book. But working on image PDFs is just OCR, 100%. But if you have a fully text PDF that was produced by Print to PDF or Microsoft Print to PDF or Save as PDF, that's text inside. You can literally read it with Notepad.
Yeah, doesn't PDF use GhostScript?
You can use GhostScript to look at it, yeah.
No, I meant like the format in PDF is actually the GhostScript format, which really has text in it or images or whatever, right?
Well, it's proprietary from Adobe, so it's not just GhostScript. They have built something that has these particular properties that it will appear the same way no matter what device or operating system you're working on. But inside, there's text and the instructions for how to format it so that it shows up the same. But the text is in there. And
Yeah,
you can use
I've
Adobe
seen it.
Acrobat Reader to search all of those things. Like I get all these bills and stuff, and from my accountant or my financial advisor, and I can search through 130-page documents for one set of characters. And it's just like regex, really. I mean, except
Here we go again.
but Adobe Reader will do that. You don't need PDF Exchange. I haven't found anything that I can't do with the built-in tools.
We wouldn't live without PDF Exchange. I have Adobe Acrobat. I have the granddaddy, and we also have worked with. I've worked with attorneys that use. There's a special format for PDF, and you can secure them. There's more than the simple PDF. PDF is not just simple. Whatever Adobe license, there's more to it than just having it as a portable document format. There's a PDF X format. There's a different variations of the PDF. But
Stuff that none of us need, I guess.
we've encountered it.
Unless we're getting paid for it.
All right, gentlemen, this has been interesting. That they threw a challenge, and we learned from that the Excel or PDF to Excel is not cut and dried. So there's an element we're missing, and it's got to be OCR'd. To me, the bottom line is going to be OCR'd. What means you're going to use for that, Power Toys or whatever you're going to use, it's up to you. But it's a work in progress, I think, to refine it. I also used another online converter, and I did learn that I asked Copilot about certain things. And Copilot said it makes a difference in terms of the, I guess not the image itself, but like if I made a scan versus something that I took a picture of versus something that had even just a picture from an iPhone, all these are going to be different, even though they are the same subject. And when you attempt not just to OCR them, but just to import them, they're all going to be a little bit different. It's not all cut and dry. But this all started because of my experience with H&R Block being able to read my 1099. So it's all doable, and I'm sure we'll be able to improve upon it. So report back on what works or what doesn't work. Anybody else
Thanks.
have any input, final input?
No, thanks for everything, Fred.
All right, Mike. Well, by the way,
I do second. I just want to say I do second the discussion about using Copilot to scan to do some of this heavy lifting for you. Have PDFs or images, and you want to extract that stuff, or just create some custom spreadsheets. It can do it for you.
It can, or it can suggest.
It can do it for you.
What is the prompt? What is a prompt for? You just tell it to scan.
You give it your input context, your file, and you can say, I need. It'll probably create like a CSV file, which you could download and then into Excel.
Now,
But I think in these days that's probably the better way to go if you're kind of trying to do something like what you're trying to do, is to use the GitHub Copilot or any Copilot to do it, or even ChatGPT for that matter.
now the PDFs that I have encountered, they must, they must prep them in a spreadsheet to begin with because you can get your bank statement as a CSV file, your credit card statement as a CSV file, or you can get it as a PDF. So in order to get it as a PDF, it started with a spreadsheet. So it's more pristine. So either or, and obviously it's better for us in Excel to get a CSV file. There's no need to get the PDF, but if you get the PDF came from the data that was already organized. There's no pictures involved. They're not taking pictures.
Correct. It's all text in that case.
Yeah, yeah. And the 1099s, they're not really pictures.
That's got to be
The
text.
text and numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's got to be text. Yeah.
yeah, text and numbers. So,
But if you're trying to extract something out of it or read it, it's just best to just pop it into Copilot and say, I'm looking for, box C or something from the 1099, whatever that means, it'll tell you what it is, right?
really?
Yeah.
I'll have to try that.
Fred, you get digital 1099s?
I
Or
I
you get
got
them mailed to you?
no, I don't get anything mailed anymore. I got
Wait,
yeah,
are you,
digital 1099s. I get
Okay.
1099s electronically. Yeah, yeah. Or I scan them in. Yeah, if they were mailed to me, I did scan them in.
Okay, that's all I was confused about. Thanks.
Yeah, that probably. I'm trying to think of the 1099s. Did I get any that I actually scanned it? I scanned some stuff
unless
in.
it's a 1099 miss from somebody, but even then, I mean, a 1099 miss, they might mail it to you, but almost every other tax document is
It's
available
electronic.
electronically.
Yeah.
Now, some people, I read about that, and it's not just H&R Block, but there's some other one that they just say, look, just send us pictures of your stuff and we will create your 1040, right? Yes, they do that.
Well, Copilot suggested H&R Block because I was frustrated last year with TurboTax. I abandoned TurboTax this year because TurboTax was driving me. You're smiling, Susan. You had a problem with TurboTax too?
Yeah, I
I
used to.
yeah,
TurboTax is great.
I had
Uh,
TurboTax as well for a while.
I
I had some issues with it too, which I eventually, so I went to like an actual tax consultant instead.
And you might need a tax consultant. I mean, but TurboTax, the hard part is accumulating all of the little data. But now that, the standard deduction is so high that it's almost not worth it, except to keep track of medical stuff for New Jersey,
it
because
wasn't.
that's a separate deduction.
Yeah, it wasn't that, John. It was the fact that they I'm all the way into filling out other stuff, and then all of a sudden it says it would not link to my brokerage company. All of a sudden, and that was the end of it. That was last year. For some reason, they stopped importing from my brokerage company. I couldn't. I had to do things manually last year. It was very, very frustrating. But I didn't realize until I was already into it, and I blasted him. I commented very poorly of him, but that's what I did. I went to Copilot. Copilot suggested H&R Block and another one, and I decided to give H&R Block. H&R Block will also give you a person if you want. Now, the only downside of H&R Block, I did this before the tax deadline. They use AI as their advisor, and it always was come back and say, it's not your fault. We just, we're overwhelmed or something. We'll get back to you. Try again later. Try again later. So I didn't get any assistance from the AI, and I didn't get any personal consultant either because they were overwhelmed right before the tax deadline. But they would have reviewed my tax form had I requested it. So we'll see what happens this year. I don't know.